If you're a dog person, you know the look. That intense, unblinking stare they give you when you're eating or working or, well, it happens all the time. But have you ever really stopped to think about what's going on behind those eyes? We're going to dive into what that gaze really means, because it's so much more than you think. It's actually a conversation that goes back thousands of years.
Right? It's probably the biggest question every single dog owner has. Are they plotting to steal my dinner? Trying to tell me something with their secret dog telepathy? Or are they just zoning out? Well, the truth is this fascinating mix of pure instinct, some powerful brain chemistry, and a really, really deep evolutionary bond.
Look, we all tend to jump to the simplest conclusions, don't we? We think, oh, he's begging, or uh-oh, she looks guilty, or maybe even he's trying to be dominant. And sure, depending on the situation, some of those can be true, but honestly, that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's the surface layer of a much, much deeper connection.
Okay, so to really get this, let's peel back the first layer of the onion. Pure, simple behavior. And this story doesn't start in our cozy living rooms. Nope. It starts out in the wild, with a dog's most basic, hardwired survival instincts. Think about it. For a dog's ancestors, and this is still true for our pups today, doing basic things like eating or, going to the bathroom, those are moments of high alert. Their head is down, their attention is focused elsewhere, and they can't easily defend themselves. It's a moment when they're completely and utterly vulnerable.
I know, it sounds a little funny, but this really gets to the heart of it. That, let's call it awkward eye contact during a potty break, that's actually a super powerful signal. Your dog instinctively knows they're in a vulnerable spot, so why in the world are they looking at you? This is it. This is the core of the behavioral answer. In that vulnerable moment, your dog is looking to you, their pack leader, their family, to have their back. That stare isn't just a stare. It is a check-in. It's them asking without words, "Hey, you got me? Are you watching for danger?" It is one of the most profound signs of trust your dog can possibly give you.
So that's layer one. But now let's go a little deeper. Because this act of trust, it isn't just in their head. It actually triggers a powerful chemical reaction inside both you and your dog. This is where we get into the cool science.
It all comes down to a hormone you've probably heard of called oxytocin. It's often called the love hormone or the cuddle chemical. It's the stuff that's absolutely fundamental for social bonding, especially the incredibly powerful bond between a mother and her child.
And this is where it gets just mind-blowing. Scientific research shows that the exact same biological mechanism that bonds a mother and her baby is at play between you and your dog. When you and your dog look into each other's eyes, it causes a surge of oxytocin in both of you.
So what this does is create this incredible positive feedback loop. It goes like this. Your dog looks at you. Your oxytocin level goes up, making you feel all warm and fuzzy and affectionate. So you smile back, or pet them, or talk in that silly voice. We all do it. And then their oxytocin level goes up, which reinforces their feeling of trust and makes them want to gaze at you more. You are quite literally getting a chemical boost of love with every shared look.
Okay, but how on earth did this even happen? How did a totally different species figure out how to tap into our human brain chemistry? For that answer, we have to go to the deepest layer of all, the incredible evolutionary story of how dogs became our best friends.
The leading theory is pretty straightforward. As humans domesticated dogs over thousands of years, we, probably without even realizing it, kept selecting the dogs that were better social partners, the ones who were better at communicating with us. And a huge part of that skill set, something their wolf ancestors just don't do, was using eye contact.
Scientists did this amazing study where they compared dogs with wolves that have been raised and socialized by humans. The results were just stark. The dogs consistently made eye contact with their owners, which kicked off that whole oxytocin loop we talked about. The wolves, they just didn't do it. This shows that the ability to bond through a shared gaze is a unique adaptation of dogs.
So what this really means is that from an evolutionary standpoint, dogs did something absolutely genius. They figured out how to tap into, or you could even say hijack, our ancient human system for parental care. That look from your dog that just melts your heart, it's doing that for a biological reason. It's activating the very same parts of your brain that make you care for a human baby. It's a brilliant strategy that has created one of the most successful partnerships in the animal kingdom.
So, knowing all of this, the behavior, the chemistry, the deep history, what do we do with it?
How can we use this knowledge to have an even better conversation with our dogs every single day?
First, and this is super important, you have to realize that context is everything. Not every stare is an oxytocin love fest. A soft gaze, maybe with some blinking and a relaxed body, that's the good stuff, that's trust. But a hard, fixed stare with a tense, stiff body can be a warning. And if you see the whites of their eyes, what's called whale eye, that's a sign of stress or fear. You've got to read the whole dog, not just the eyes. And you can actively work on this. Here's a really simple little exercise. Just take a treat, hold it in your closed fist, and put your hand out to your side. Now your dog is probably going to sniff and paw at your hand. Just wait, be patient. The second they look away from your hand and make eye contact with you, say good and give them the treat. It's a fantastic way to teach them that looking at you is how you communicate.
And remember, this is about so much more than just getting a treat. What you're really doing is teaching your dog to check in with you. You're taking this incredible innate ability they have, and you're helping them turn it into a conscious, two-way conversation. That's just going to make your bond even stronger.
So the next time your dog locks eyes with you, just take a second and remember everything that's really going on. It's a moment of trust. It's a flood of bonding hormones. And it's a conversation that's literally been thousands of years in the making. It's a look that says, I'm with you. I trust you. And as the researchers put it so well in the journal Science, it's almost certainly about more than just your sandwich.